Hi, I'm Riki,
And I'm Kiwi.
and welcome to Person-Centered Learning.
If you're a homeschooler, an independent thinker, a lover of life's big questions, or simply don't fit into the mainstream education system, we would love for you to join us. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. So Riki, there's a lot of talk politically, you've got talking heads on TV saying, what are they teaching our children these days? Or this is what they should be learning at school. What should we be teaching our children? I'm going into full shock jock mode for this one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, that's something that has interest for me to question that from the very beginning, even as a child.
Yeah,
that
right.
was something that I would question. Why? And a lot of the time when I'd ask why I need to learn this or why, I was just sort of a bit confused as to, who. Everyone had to learn exactly the same thing. It was like, wow, I was wondering where it was all coming from, and I never really got any good answers until I was studying art education at university, and one of the teachers there helped me learn why we needed to study maths, because as a young person, to my dad's great disappointment, because he's a bit of a maths genius. I never really got maths. It was very difficult for me to get my head around. And when I had a good teacher, I thought, wow, this is really working, and I got it. But most of the time it felt really, really foreign to me, and I couldn't understand much of it. So when I would ask my teachers at school, why do we have to study maths? They'd just say, because you have to. You have to. You just have to. And it's like, I just have to, okay, well, I just have to. It's not a good reason, but I kept persisting, kept trying. And then when I was studying art education, I asked the same question. I asked the lecturer, I said, I had this issue as a child most of my schooling, and I never got an answer that was satisfactory to me. Why do we have to study maths? And she just said, well, because studying maths means that you get to exercise a part of your brain that you can't exercise any other way. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. That's what I wanted to know. What was I getting out of it? I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. I mean, sometimes I did. Like I said, when I had a good teacher, I thought, wow, this is magic. This feels like, a secret language. But so when she described that to me, and of course the same goes for art, same goes for every subject, so it was like, well, then why is it that we just have a few subjects that are core subjects or essential or seen as compulsory subjects, yet the full spectrum of all learning of all subjects in the world, they're all ignored, but there's still just a few on maths or all the core subjects at school, so I don't need to go into them all. But I was wondering who got to choose all of those. Mm-hmm. And once I understood that, of course, that makes sense. To be able to study maths, you need to use your brain in a way that you can't use any other way, same with all the other subjects. But why was it that a select few people got to choose that and never changed over the whole course of schooling?
Yeah. So look, there is a board somewhere that decides these things.
Yeah.
Now, some of these things are politically motivated. Some of them are economically motivated. So you'll hear business leaders coming out saying, we don't have kids who are equipped to do this, this and this. So when you think about it, it really comes down to the curriculum is there to help us fit into the machine. So it's there to fit us into the business machine, whatever that is at the time. If we're going through another Cold War or something like that, then we'd need heaps and heaps of engineers to manufacture missiles for us, for example.
Yeah.
Politically speaking, things are a bit of a schmozzle at the moment. You hear about the term the culture war. We'll definitely get into that in another episode. It's something that we'd love to discuss, and how we're, navigating that with our children. It's really important, especially having two young boys, one who's growing into a man very soon, or he basically is a man. I mean, he's taller than me already. But then again, most girls are taller than me too. But, there's so much to navigate. And I think that's the real question, isn't it? That what does a child need to do to survive? Like, how do you navigate these waters? And the board, whoever they are, the Board of Education, New South Wales, or wherever it is that you live, tell you that this is what we need to survive as a nation. But look, we're made to fit the needs of industry. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, we need to survive. We need to find a way to survive. If we were hunter-gatherers, we would teach someone how to make a spear. That's the industry you've got at the time. Mm-hmm. And how to sharpen that and how to use it effectively and how to hunt. So it's all about survival. but it's not necessarily always in the child's interests. Now, I also want to acknowledge that we're very privileged to even be able to pursue our interests. There was a time where, you can't just sit in the cave all day drawing pictures of yaks. Now, I love myself a yak. I know you do too, Riki. I'm a yak man. But there's no way that I'd be able to do that. Now, I live in an amazing country. I've got amazing privilege. And my parents didn't have what I have. So I'm lucky that I can pursue things. So my goal is to be a novelist. That's not something that helps you survive necessarily, even though it does overall, long term. But not every single person can sit down and be a novelist and write a book, just like not everyone can sit there and paint a yak all day. So these are the things that are relevant to me, but might not be relevant to, I suppose, society. Society might say, you've got to earn your way to sitting in there painting your yak.
Yeah.
So what should we teach our kids? Like when you get to the end of that journey, coming out of that 18 years, let's just say, what does a kid need to know?
Hopefully themselves, but hopefully they need to know that they're loved and that they're, hopefully they need to know that their place in this world is an important one. Not more important than anyone else, but that they can get out there and live.
Could you imagine how different school would be if that were the mission statement? At the end of a child's schooling career, at the end of university or end of their high school certificate, they will feel loved. Imagine that. Imagine if that were the mission statement of education. That would change outcomes for everything, including mental health. A child knowing that they are loved and have self-knowledge. Look, I guess that's one of the benefits of homeschooling, that for us, curriculum doesn't even exist. We don't have a curriculum.
Well, we read the curriculum. We know we're aware of it, but we don't follow it.
But we go by outcomes.
Yeah.
If the outcome is for a child to read, then you don't have to follow what the school is doing with readers. I was talking to a parent just a few weeks ago, and she said her son was struggling with readers, and I said, I struggle with readers. Okay. I opened them and I'm like, oh, this is stupid. So I don't know anyone in the world who enjoys readers, including teachers. I've spoken to teachers who hate readers. She's a teacher, by the way. She's a maths teacher. But it's crazy that that's a thing.
And they're still a thing.
Yeah, that they're still a thing.
Yeah.
So if the outcome is for your child to read, well, I don't know, do what your child likes. That's the best way to get them to read.
Absolutely.
If it's to get a child to know how to count, get them counting things that are important to them. There are so many kids out there who love sport. Get them to calculate how many points a team needs to score within this amount of time. Yeah. Trust me, they'll do it. They'll get that easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when it's something that, again, relationship, when they've got a relationship to something that they're learning, then it becomes easy.
Yeah, so I think outcomes are non-political, but the way to get there quite often is political. So, it's like kids should learn about history. Okay, well, we'll teach them this history. The stuff that makes us look good.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
If our kids want to learn history, go on YouTube, and there is so much stuff out there. Our youngest son has learnt all this stuff about World War One, which I didn't really get into until I got into, I think, year 11 in modern history when I started that. So he's learnt so much already because he's interested. And that's not me saying, you need to learn about World War One. That's him following his interests.
Yeah.
And he's learning to read through it.
Yeah.
And he's learning to count through it.
Yeah.
So what should a child learn? I love your first answer, which was self-knowledge and love. Now, from there, you just need to learn the survival skills in your field of interest.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty simple. That's not a complex thing to say, is it?
No.
You think about all the parents who are stressing because their kids aren't good at maths. Well, novelists don't need to be good at maths.
Yeah.
If you had a child who was an amazing gymnast, you wouldn't care if they were good at football. You wouldn't fail them based on that. So whoever's setting these, these bars, well, you don't have to follow them.
No. It's hard when you're in the system, when you're in school, because those bars are and kids are very aware of those bars, even with the readers, with the numbers. You're on level 2 now, you're on level 3, but Jenny, she's on level 8, it means I'm
Jenny
stupid.
cheats, okay? She gets her mum to do her homework.
But so all that competition and, kids are very aware of those levels. And those bars that they're expected to
Yeah.
jump over or
Yeah.
reach.
So look, whatever it is you want to teach your kids, well, think about what your kid actually wants to learn. And when they talk about all of these, whenever I hear these discussions about, what should kids be learning,
Yeah.
I've never heard them ask a child.
Yeah.
It's always politicians and
yeah.
shock jocks. And some of these politicians are pretty thick, honestly. Come on. Why are they asking them? Ask the child, what do you want to learn?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm not interested in any of this. I want to learn about football. Well, go learn about football.
Yeah. What they say, look at what they're interested in. If you ask your child or a child what they'd like to learn, and they say, I don't know, or no idea, just watch them, just observe them, see what they're interested in, and then provide whatever it is that they're interested, provide access to more information about that, and then just watch them devour it.
Yep. So there you go. What should we teach our children? That they are loved.
Yeah, and to trust themselves and to
know themselves.
Yeah.
To follow their interests and survive through that.
Yeah.
That's it. Leave the politics out of it. Let the politicians and the shock jocks yell into their microphones and do their thing. Just go and live a lovely, peaceful life. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. We love doing this and we love connecting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.